Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you, whether you're watching us live or watching us on demand. I guess. Thank you so much for joining us. It is the end of the year and I'm feeling it. Ricardo, how about you?
Um, I had to sub for a kinder class today. That should tell you all you need to know.
You had quite a day, but you know what, everyone? Teachers, happy Teachers Appreciation Week, everybody. 1 week is definitely not enough to thank you for everything that you do. So we hope that you were celebrated at your sites, in your classrooms, and all over. So happy Teachers Appreciation Week to
You
all our
are our
teachers and educators
stars.
out there. You are
Yeah.
our heroes. You're amazing. We hope you enjoyed your week, everyone. All right,
Mhm.
so we're going to continue today. Ricardo, I'm going to let you go ahead and start the slides
Sure.
that we can begin. Ricardo loves his sound effects. All right. Welcome, everybody. If you have not met us before, my name is Teresa Castro, or Teresa Magpayo Castro,
And I am Ricardo Recinos.
and we are both technology toasters from Hacienda La Puente Unified School District who just love all things tech. So we are here to continue our ultimate AI Spring Showdown. So we're going through all of these amazing AI apps, and we're so excited to bring you more today. Ricardo is our expert today, and so we're going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do.
Okay. You said expert. I look behind me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was like, what is he looking for?
And I,
All
I
right,
think you
so
already went over this, right?
yes, today we are your hosts. We might have guests coming up, but not today. I am your guest today, pretty much. Ricardo's your expert, and I will be the one interviewing him.
Good
All
luck,
right, so
everyone.
let's talk about what we're actually going to learn about today. We got such great feedback last week from our episode, and so thank you so much for those who came to watch us. So today, it's very tiny here. We're going to wait for those slides where they're a little bit bigger, but we're on episode 3 of Clash of the AIs. And so, what would you say, Ricardo?
No, if you've been watching, I was really surprised that reading progress actually took down reading coach. I was all reading coach,
Was
and
that my prediction, or was that my prediction? I'm
That
just
was
gonna.
your prediction.
It was.
So if you have been watching, Reading Progress moved on, and between Pictory and I can never say synesthesia. Hopefully that's what it is. It doesn't matter because they
Sure.
didn't move on, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Pictory has moved on.
Congratulations, reading progress, and correct. Congratulations, Pictory. So I'm really
Mhm.
curious about who is going to win today.
We're
For
moving to the other side of the bracket, so Teresa's going
yep,
to introduce our contestants today.
yep.
So let's go. But before we do that, Teresa, it's always very important.
Yes, we go. I know if you've been with us in every episode, you're probably like, oh my goodness, you're like a broken record. But we really need to make sure that everyone hears us out when it comes to the safe use of AI tools, especially with our students. So we're going to say it every single time. So just forgive us. So we want to make sure everyone, we get so excited when we bring out these tools. We learn about them. We get excited to bring them into our classrooms. But please make sure, whether it's AI tools or any tech at all, that it's really for our student to use, because a lot of it you'll see here, I know it's pretty small, but you'll see that there's age limits here. So we want to make sure that our students are old enough and qualified to use these things, and not just because they know how to use something, but for their safety and for your safety as well. So we never know how sites are storing data, and we want to make sure to protect our students. So look it up online before you make sure you use these tech in your class, that our students are of age, and you know how they're storing data and what they're going to be exposed to when they use these tools.
Yeah, you have to be really careful and you have to make sure that you build that AI literacy with our students. There was an article that just came out last week where one of the tools that actually was 18 and over was producing some inappropriate images, and this particular place was using it with their students. So you do have to be very, very careful. We love this image again because it gives you the required age, the private policy, just by going to the QR code, and also how the data is being used. So, yes, so we always talk
And
about
things change all the time.
Mhm.
So just because so please try your best to stay up to date. Several of these tools started off at 18 and then bumped it down to 13 because of
Mhm.
some things that the students were seeing. So please just make sure you're always checking before
And
bringing.
some of them have the ability to be used with all kids. We're actually going to see 2 of them today. So I'm very excited
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
All right, I love it. Thank you for those of you who are joining us live. We
Mhm.
appreciate you. And we always share this one as well, just in case you weren't with us in our last episode, assessing AI for classroom use rubric. Because you're like, how would I know which one to use and which not to use? So tools like this, which is a rubric, and it kind of, if you go through it, it tells you if this app is worth your time or not. So take your time to go through that before you bring any apps into your class.
Yes, very important.
So meet the players. All right. So let's see who we are going to learn about today in our
Yes,
mini
let's see.
I knew it was coming. All right, Conquer versus QuestionWell. Can I tell them a quick blurb about what these are
Yes,
before you get
please
into them?
go
Is that
ahead.
okay? I'm gonna
Mhm.
read it. So, Conquer AI powered quizzes. It generates unique quizzes with a variety of question types. So that sounds similar to some things that I've tried before. Versus QuestionWell. It's an AI powered educational tool that enhances the creation and distribution of learning materials. Here, oh no, we're going to talk about the key features in about a moment.
And
So,
I think we did say that we were very intentional when we match these tools, so they're both could be considered those quizzes generators. You're gonna see that today. So we were very intentional when we pair them. And the next matchup, we're just gonna talk about it, but this is like heavyweights right here.
yes. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this one, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Magic School and also School AI, and probably also mixing them up because they do sound quite similar. But so Magic School AI, it's called Magic School AI on the thing. That makes it even more confusing. It's a comprehensive AI platform designed for educators and students. And we're going to talk about the key features in a bit. Versus School AI. It's an innovative AI platform tailored for K-12 education. And so you're like, those sound exactly the same. And Ricardo's going to go through the features that tell you how they're different and which one he might prefer over the other.
Being a Magic School AI pioneer and also a School AI insider is kind of
It's
difficult for me
hard.
to tell you what I prefer between one or the other. I'm just going to show you what they can do, and you
You
can
can
make
decide
that decision.
and
Yeah,
try to see if you
exactly.
know which one he likes better.
So yeah, so we're gonna start with Conquer AI and QuestionWell. So let's go ahead and go there. Let me go ahead and open this app. So let's start with Conquer AI. So all we are going to show you today with Conquer AI are free features. Okay.
Nice.
So things that you can go in there, log in with your Google account or Microsoft account, and you'll be able to use right now. I love that you can customize the quizzes that you create. It's standard aligned. Okay. There's the ability to add accommodations to it. Also, the personalized learning paths, and I'll show you that a little bit, and the real-time feedback, pretty incredible. Okay, so I'm in here, and again, I'm using it, the free version. Okay, so on the left side, I have create. So I can come in here and create a quiz if I wanted to. Okay, so before I do one, I'm going to show you that I also have the ability to explore. So there's a lot of resources for you that have already been created here. So maybe I'm going to do something on NGSS, right? And I'm doing it for second grade, well, there's a lot of activities that have already been created for you. Does that make sense? So it's pretty easy to just come in here, California, right? I can come here and switch it to and be able to find materials. Okay. And then finally, activities. This will be where my activities that I created are going to be located. Okay. But we're going to start with create. Okay. And then notice that there's some examples here too that are already done for you if you wanted to use them. But we're going to use AI. And I know Teresa and I always have our favorite subject is the solar system or the water
every
cycle, right,
every
Teresa?
time we go out there to present, they're like, "Here we go again, the solar system
So should we do the water cycle?
or water cycle,
Those
one
are
or
the
the other."
two. So here we go, the water cycle. That's all I'm going to type, and I'm going to go next. And it's going to ask me question types, multiple choice, mix, read and respond, and fill in the blanks. So I love the fact that you have options, okay? So for today, we're just gonna go with multiple choice, but you could have mixed it and it would allow to do fill in the blanks and read and respond. How many questions you want? Okay, we'll keep it at 5. What grade level? And Teresa, for the water cycle, what grade level should I put it on?
You can choose anything.
Okay, let's go with fourth grade.
There are certain
Eh,
grades that, but
Okay,
it's I wanna
and
see it.
then okay, and then you can pick different languages too. So maybe you're doing the water cycle in a dual immersion class, so you will be able to actually do it in Spanish
Hmm.
if you wanted to. And if you wanted to include anything, reading material, so maybe there is an article on your the textbook that you use or something that you want to use with the students, you will be able to put it in here. And that is all you need to do, and you're going to generate it. It's going to think, it's going to generate the questions for us. So it's using AI to decide what will be appropriate for fourth grade and also on the water cycle. So here are my questions, okay? So notice that it created the questions for us. Um, And it also gives you the ability to validate the answers with Google search, just to make sure that you got it right. Google it, right? Google it. So
Okay.
it tells you what the answers are, right? Here are my 5 questions that I created very fast, right? Okay. Their feedback, you can change the feedback for the students, so you can give instant feedback. Remember, so if they were to get something wrong, you can give feedback for them to be able to do this. Okay. In case that this quiz doesn't work for you, that's not what you were looking for. It kind of gives you ideas of other options of quizzes you can create, which is pretty amazing. Okay. I can preview it if I wanted to. Okay. Or I can go ahead and share. And when I'm ready to share it, I have the ability to copy the link, to embed it somewhere, to use a QR code, to print, or what a lot of people love, the ability to just take this and turn it into a
Ooh.
Google form automatically. Okay.
Yeah.
So in a, very simple, this is what Conquer AI is.
No,
Um,
I what I heard that stood out to me, and I'm taking notes because literally, if I was listening to this to bring back into my classroom, I'd be taking notes. So what I heard was standards based, accommodations, and immediate feedback. Win, win, win. Okay, I'm curious to hear about the other one. Let's
right.
see which one I like
So
better.
that is Conquer AI. Let's move
Okay.
on to QuestionWell. We are here with QuestionWell. So I'm going to again log in and use only the free version right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and log in. I thought I had logged in already. You can use Google or Microsoft to log in. But here we are, okay? So you're going to notice that very similar, right? So I'm going to ask for maybe 5 questions, right? Multiple choice, short answer, fill in the blank, right? All question types. I can say questions based on the water cycle, right, Teresa? The water cycle, right?
Forever, the
Uh,
water cycle
in
and the solar
English,
cycle.
and just so you can see it, I'm going to start with 4th grade, okay? And now we'll go ahead and generate it. But before I do that, I want to show you other options the QuestionWell has, okay? I also have the ability to just come in here and use text,
Oh.
okay? Or generate a reading. This is great for me. You can actually generate questions from a YouTube video in here where you it will create a quiz on that video, or also you can create, and think about this, Teresa. I know you've seen this before, an interactive video puzzle on a YouTube video. So I have the ability to do this too. I can also just go to a website, throw it in here, and create a quiz just by with the website. I can come in here and use a file or a doc in here, or create or your own quiz. I can upload it in here. Okay, so you have all of these options that I don't think we saw in Conquer AI a second
You
ago.
didn't see that in Conquer, no.
Right? So this is pretty incredible. We won't be able to show you this today, but I'm going to show you the simple one. So I'm going to generate the questions. Okay? Water
We're getting some
cycle.
thumbs up from our audience. Thank you, everybody.
Right. Yeah,
I
this
think
is a
we're kind of
great
seeing I don't
one.
know, a little bit biased now. Okay,
Yeah,
let's see what
right.
it does.
So here we go. So we're going to go ahead and do it right now. So let's go. Did it generate my questions yet? Oh, I don't want to do video. Sorry. I don't want to do video. I pressed the wrong thing. Here it goes. It's creating. It thought I was gonna do the video because I was on video, but I'm not doing
Yeah.
the video. I was just basically generating. My screen keeps flickering, but it's not doing it for you. So I think
No,
we're
you're good.
okay.
You're all good.
Okay, good. So it's thinking and actually going to create it, right? I didn't talk about the features, right? Teresa, you want to kind of go over the features as it creates it?
Sure, I'll just read off what we have on the
Hmm.
side here. So AI question generator, it creates multiple choice, fill in the blank, short answer, and essential questions. It's customizable, it's standards aligned, diverse media input, which he showed you all the different types. There's different export options, and it's interactive learning, and it provides also user
So
feedback. So
so notice the difference because I pick text. What did it do? It created a text. And based on that text that the
ah,
students are going to read, then they have their questions right here, right? It's pretty incredible. If I would have done the video, it would have had the video on this side, right? Oh, so a little bit more advanced than ConkerAI as we think about it, right? So notice what it did for us. So we have,
ooh, we're not going to tell you what to vote for, everybody, but
right? And then I can filter by learning objectives if I wanted to in here. Okay, so notice that it created learning objectives too for us, and it
yes.
created the questions for us, right? I can add my own questions. I can generate more questions if I want to. Notice that here are the essential questions that I created and also the vocabulary that you might need for it. And I know it's amazing. And then this is what I love. And again, I'm not picking favorites or whatever, but I love the expert
Really.
feature. If I go to expert, notice what I can do. I can automatically export to Quizzes, Kahoot, Canvas, Schoology, Moodle, GimKit,
Do
Bookit,
you see your
Quizlet,
LMS in there,
Google
teachers? Do you
Forms,
see what you use for your
Blackboard,
district?
Microsoft Forms. And I know the reason I
I
automatically think it, right?
wow.
Microsoft Forms. immersive reader, right?
And I know we've
Focus.
gone out to other districts to present, and this is one of them when Ricardo talks about QuestionWell, everyone's jaw drops because one, most of them never heard of it, and two, once you see what it could do, it's like wow, wow, it's amazing, yeah.
Mhm. So we could spend more time on
We
this
could.
particular tool or Conquer AI, but we just wanted to give you an idea of what it can do. Okay,
Yes.
so that was Conquer, and that was Question Well right there. Okay, now this is going to be difficult. We're gonna move on to Magic
This is
School
the one I wasn't
AI.
sure how Ricardo was gonna do it because these are two heavy hitters right here. So
Yeah, so
curious.
there are some tools that are similar, and I'll start with the magic tools that you've probably seen in many different AI tools that are coming out. The ability to have AI to do planning, like Magic School for students' ideas, lesson plans, project based learning, right? If I wanted to do content, right? Worksheet generator, academic content, informative text, questions. I can create quizzes from here, YouTube video questions, right? So something that QuestionWell just did, intellectual prep, student support, and communication. So all, if you notice, IEP generator was here, right? Text leveler was here, social stories, sentence starters, communication, emails, and so on and so on. Be careful with the emails, though. I was talking to a teacher, and someone was saying, no, I can just use AI to write an email to a parent, to an upset parent, right? And then someone said, well, what about if that parent also goes and uses AI to answer back to your email? So is there a real conversation going on between a teacher and a parent when the teacher is using the AI to write an email and the parent is using the AI to write the email back? So think about that.
Content is there. It's fine. Like
But something that I love, one of my favorite ones in here that I love, hopefully I can find it right now, otherwise I'll come back to it, but real world connections when you create a lesson. So or there's another tool in here that I love, the ability to create a lesson based on things that your students are into. So if you know your class and you know that they're into, I don't know, give me something that kids love right now, Teresa. um,
coding. I don't know.
well,
Minecraft.
there's a tool in here called Make It Relevant, and then you can make that lesson plan relevant to the students based on their interests. So that's pretty amazing, right? So just that was just something that I
Taylor
wanted to
Swift.
show you, some of the tools that are there. Something that is very important about, again, this particular tool is that it's FERPA compliant. The data is protected.
Good.
Okay, so when we talk about this particular tool, that's very, very important. So that was just some of the magic tools. I can spend so much time talking about all of the magic tools, but I just wanted to give you an idea that you have so many tools. You also have Reina. So if you are familiar with ChatGPT or Copilot or Bar, right, all of those chatbot assistants, Reina is a chatbot specifically made for schools. So it stays within the range of what's educational in here. Okay. So when
Schools
we ask,
meaning teachers or schools meaning students?
so I'm going to show you in a second that we also have the ability to launch to students and provide that particular tool. So let's say that I told the students, I told prefer school AI personally. Someone said, yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. I'm just looking at someone said
You're
something
getting
right now.
some comments. Yeah.
So yeah, so let's say that I was going to launch it for students, and I'll show that in a second, okay? And I could tell my chatbot that it's only going to be answering about this particular topic. And if a student goes and says, I want you to talk to me about this, Reina will go back and say, no, we're going to stay on the topic that we are working on today. So just to show you what that looks like, okay? So I could actually come in here and use Magic Student. And notice the tools that they have in here. Again, chatbots, content, creative ideas. So song generator, thank you notes, custom chatbot, Reina for students, chatbot builder. So I can come in here and say, I'm going to launch it for students. Okay. And now my students are going to be using this tool. Okay. Hopefully we can show it. Okay. Launch new room. Okay. And I'm going to say, okay, for this particular one, I want it to be for third grade, and I'm going to have 250 students. Okay. Probably don't have that many, but
I
I'm
would hope
basically
not.
creating a room. And I can say, you know what? For this particular session, I want the students to have access to Reina. I want the students to have access to my song generator because they're going to be creating a song about what we're doing. I want them to have access to tutor me with AI, maybe, because they might need a tutor at the end. And I want them to have access to step by step. You get the idea, right? I decide
Mhm.
what I want the tools
Just
to be
that.
available.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to decide that those are going to be there. Now I have the ability to customize it even more if I wanted to. Okay. But now that I'm ready, because I can go and customize each of them, if I wanted to make sure that I'm very specific about things, I can launch the room. Okay, it's going to think about it. And now my students can actually join through a URL, Google Classroom or join course. Teresa, can you join for me so I
Sure.
can show exactly what this looks like? So I'm gonna throw the link to Teresa here so she can join.
In our
Okay,
okay, there we go. Okay.
you should have it.
All right.
Okay, so you're gonna see that the kids can join any way like that. Okay, and I'm waiting to see students joining. Hopefully, it lets you join, Teresa.
Mhm. Joining.
And notice that I can see Teresa in here, okay? And I have the ability to view the output. I can see what she's doing. I can see that she's
Mm,
active, what she's working on based on the lesson that I provided. I can see everything she's doing. I can see the info. I can pause. And maybe Teresa's not on task. I can lock it or I can remove her from the room. So as a teacher, you have the control with Magic School students to be able to know exactly what they are doing. So Magic Student is pretty incredible to use. It's such a great tool. So I can actually go and see what she is doing. Okay, so obviously she would have been using this tools that I provided based on the lesson that we are doing. Does that make sense? Any comments to that, Teresa? What that looks like?
you know what? I think, the big thing that was kind of cool is that we go out and we do these trainings about AI, and a lot of it are tools for the teachers. But then at the end, teachers go, okay, so what can my students use that are AI is okay for them to use? And so this is kind of one of those where like, okay, this is something your students use and you can guide your students through. I just made you a song, by the way, Mr. Racino's
Let's
song
look at it.
about the water cycle.
There he goes. Yes, right, because that would have been the lesson. So notice what our student created a song about the water cycle, and the teacher is always in control, and they can see exactly what the students are doing, because that is one of the tools that I provided in this particular room for Teresa to be able to use. I think it's incredible. So pretty amazing to see, and so I love Magic School AI. It's one of my favorite tools out there. But we also have School AI. Can I tell you that this has really um, has a special place in my heart, and I will tell you why.
All right, I want to know.
So, first of all, you might be familiar with this, right? So, you do have all of the tools to be able to write lesson plans, worksheets, right? I mean, I can go to all of the tools, and you're gonna see that they're very familiar, right? Multiple choice quiz, build your own, jokes, worksheets,
Looks
and so
similar.
on
All
and
right.
so on. Very, very similar, right? Some of the tools IEP, so you've seen that already, right? Very, very
Yes.
similar. You also have your Psychic, which is the chatbot. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
But what I love is the ability to create spaces for our students. Okay. Very
What is
similar to
that?
that Magic School AI that we talked about. But let me give
Mhm.
you an idea of what I'm talking about. What is spaces? So they're AI powered chatbots designed to help students. So maybe I want my kids to come in here and use it for tutoring. Okay. So I want to show you
Mm,
this. There are all these tutors already created in here. For instance, let's talk about maybe an English tutor. Okay. So I can select that particular space. Okay. This is Aaron, the English tutor. I can launch it for my students, and my students can use it as a tutor.
hmm.
And it will tutor and go back and forward between them. So just to show you a start preview, because I won't have to show you everything, but I'll come in and say, "Hello, I'm Aaron, your English tutor. What grade are you in? And what topic would you need help with?" And you basically have a tutor in
I'm gonna show this to my daughter.
every subject that you want to. Okay, so the tutors are amazing. Okay, um, just to add a little bit more in here, I also have the ability on spaces. Let's go discover some so you can see them. Okay, so I can create spaces by standards.
Nice.
So if I was to create a
Mhm.
space by standards. Think about that on something that we are studying. Okay. I can, someone already created for bell ringers, right? Exit tickets, video explorer. I
Oh,
talked about
super
the
cool.
subjects. Think about this, okay? History come to life. So the ability for me to come in here in these spaces and have my students talk to any of these particular history figures.
Hmm.
We'll show one of them in a second by just Martin Luther King and the ability of our students to use AI to interact with what that would look like. Okay, let's go back to discovering. I also have the ability to create it by Women History Month. Oh, test prep. Think about getting ready for a test, right? World history, and I'm just going to show you all the entire collection in here. Younger students meet the author, so talking to the author. So I'll do one really quick. So we'll do this one, and we'll talk to. What do you think, Teresa? Frida?
Let's talk to Frida.
Yeah,
Yes.
so let me go
I'm
ahead
so
and open
excited.
Frida, and I'm going to launch it. And again, you're going to notice that it's going to be very similar. I'm going to provide the link to Teresa so you can actually join it. I will see when Teresa comes in here.
Okay.
So now Teresa's going to, maybe she's learning about Frida Kahlo, right? And she's going to actually be able to interact using AI based on what AI knows about Frida Kahlo and all of the resources available. So here's Teresa. Okay.
What should I ask her? We have some funny questions for her all the
Ooh,
time.
let's ask her. I always want to know why he tolerated Diego Rivera for so long. Why did she stay with him? So I can view the chat, I can pause, or I can remove students. So as a teacher, I have the control always to be able to see what they're doing. So I can come in here and view the chat. So, it says, hello, I'm Frida Kahlo, right? A painter known for my self-portrait. So Teresa's actually getting started. And she's
Did you
actually,
see what I asked?
why did you tolerate Diego Rivera for so long? Teresa, what did it say?
It says, Diego was a great love in my life, yet also a source of much pain. We shared a passion for art and politics, but our relationship was tumultuous. Why do you think people sometimes stay in challenging relationships?
And it's gonna
This
engage
is
you and
an
you're gonna
interesting
keep
conversation.
talking, right? So think about that, right?
Oh
So
my
that was just an
gosh.
amazing tool, right? I'll show you a couple of other ones that you could use in here. Um, the ability, I had someone, I know Teresa and I love to do app smashing, and I actually
Yes.
had this amazing one where I had students creating a song that at the end was going to use Suno AI to create that song. So they start in a space like this on School AI, and at the end they end up using Suno with it to create that song. There's some amazing teachers that have created some amazing spaces in here. You can look at spaces by subject if you wanted to, feature experiences, okay, explore exciting careers, dive into popular books, other tools in here. You can also create your own spaces. So think about the ability of you to come in here and say, so I created one that has the impact of AI in education. So this particular space will interact with you about talking about the impact of AI in education. If I was to go in here and I was to launch this, it took me literally 2 minutes to create this particular space, and you will be able to discuss with this particular chatbot the impact of AI in education. So to me, again, you do have the tools, right? You do have the assistants, right? Very similar to Magic School Student. You do have the spaces, but it takes a different approach on the way these spaces work, right? The tutors are incredible. The collections are great, right? And you can create your own too.
All right. So is it Jorge or George for your comment? I might have to agree with you. But
Is
one thing
that
that I really liked about that last one is that it just looks so intuitive. And so maybe I haven't, maybe if it's my first time seeing it, it's not something I would be intimidated by. I could just kind of click around and learn more about it. And the way Ricardo demonstrated it was really easy. So you
and
right
let's
on time, it's 5:29.
And let's be honest, we are not doing justice to these tools today. We are
Absolutely not.
spending half an hour on them. We just wanted to give you a small taste of what they can do. Obviously, there's so much more that we can dive into with these tools, and they're pretty incredible. And we love all four of them, actually. I love them all.
So when you see the polls come out, everybody vote for your favorite out of these four. Well, favorite two out of these four, and we'll see who moves on for our next episode. And thank you so much for joining us. Those were some of my favorites. So thank you, Ricardo. You were amazing, so knowledgeable. So if you have any questions, please let us know. And we thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye
Teacher
bye.
Appreciation.
Bye bye.
Bye.